Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. I, of course, am your host, Jonathan Clarke, just having a cup of tea this morning at just after 9:35 a.m. I'm so honored to be in your guys' presence every single time I have the opportunity to talk to you and with you about Descendants and Zombies, because I know how much it means to each and every one of your hearts. I know what it's like to grow up as a fan of a franchise like Goof Troop, Hercules, Aladdin, Gargoyles, and be such a huge fan of it. I remember collecting the Gargoyles action figures. There weren't very many of them, but in the lateral part of the 1990s, the Gargoyles action figures were a hot commodity to have if you were a fan of Disney animated TV shows. And then, of course, there was the board game, the movie. I think that Disney had a generation that everybody was just so proud and so honored to be a part of. And now this new generation, of course, captained by Clarke and is a generation that I'm really excited about and to be talking about with each and every one of you every single opportunity I get on this channel. There's just something about that first sip of tea every single morning. So last night, there was a lot of rain, and I had my window open here in my office, and it got me to thinking about 3:30 a.m. in the morning about how much we've been through on this YouTube channel. Because we've laughed together, we've cried together, we've shared the most significant moments, the highs and the lows of the Descendant stars, of course, the passing of Cameron Boyce, how Dove Cameron became a superstar overnight, how we saw Clarke and Cheryl come from out of nowhere with the representation of this character, Red, really bring her to life. And it got me to thinking about how much of an opportunity this was for me to meet so many wonderful people, and how many times I've never failed to say thank you to everybody who have subscribed to this YouTube channel, because we have shared in a lot, and we've experienced a lot as Descendants and Zombies fans. I think when Cameron Boyce passed away, it really allowed us to put our lives into perspective and just realize how valuable life was and what people like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson were experiencing at the time. It was a lot to have to deal with at just 19 years old. I mean, who knows where they're headed at 19 years old. When I was 19 years old, I was going through a lot, but never anything quite like that. And I think that, there are so many moments that Descendants has allowed us to be a part of that, we sometimes really don't take into consideration. But I think now we have a greater appreciation for life, where we're at in life, what's become of Descendants and Zombies because of what Clarke and Dove Cameron have taught us. Just how precious time is when you talk about Alice in Wonderland characters and Cinderella, and how time is always elapsing through that hourglass. And we're wondering about, what would we do if we could either go back in time and spend more time with the ones that we love, or what would we do with the time that we are allocated that would make us appreciate it more? Because often, sometimes, people don't take into consideration just how valuable time really is. Because I think Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland were franchises that always had something to do with time. You had Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, Cinderella 2, Dream Comes True, and of course the original Cinderella, where everything seemed to fall into place significantly for Cinderella, which is why I believe that Chloe Charming's story is far from over. And she is incredibly beautiful too. She is somebody who I don't really do a whole lot of talking about because I have the biggest crush in the world on Clarke and That's pretty apparent for everybody who's been subscribed to this YouTube channel for what must feel like forever. But that doesn't mean that I don't feel the same way about Malia Baker as I do Clarke and It's just I see this dedication from Clarke so much that it always blows my mind how far she's come in such a short amount of time, because her resume speaks for itself. She took reoccurring roles as Tessa and Tony on High School Musical, the series, and she brought these characters to life as if you almost knew she was going to be something special. And when she finally got that opportunity after being sprinkled everywhere on Disney Channel shows and movies, she comes out with this character, Red, and ever since donning it, she's come off as an inspiration to so many wonderful people, which is why I think that the critics on YouTube really need to back off Clarke and leave Clarke alone. Because everything seems to be ending up in the conversation when it comes to Clarke, such as her political point of view, her relationship with her boyfriend, which we all know about and we heard about, and these stories about people like Dove Cameron and Clarke and their relationships not turning out the way they expected them to because of their point of view being very different from their partner. To be honest with you guys, it really broke my heart to see Clarke going through this kind of thing at just 19 years old. I mean, Clarke just turned 20 back in June. I believe it was on June 26th. And I remember being so proud that Clarke had come so far in such a short amount of time, because she was able to establish this relationship and this understanding with each and every one of you, and how the feeling was really mutual from the fans of Descendants and Zombies. I think that a guy really needs to prioritize what a girl thinks about, what a girl feels, and how a girl feels about everybody around her, because her friends are the most important thing in her lifetime, because all she ever wants to do is make her friends and the people around her that she surrounds herself with happy. And the way that I choose to perceive it, and I might be just saying this because I'm the sweetest guy ever, but, what's really wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. When you see beautiful relationships like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, standing out for, always supporting each other, being there for every significant moment in each other's lives, supporting them unconditionally, I think that is something to be very proud of. And to be honest with you guys, just knowing that Kylie Cantrell is out there making such a huge difference in this lifetime, inspiring so many wonderful people, granting wishes all the time, it's a wonderful feeling. And I wish more people who were part of the Descendants cast would do this kind of thing, because Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Cantrell go out of their way every single opportunity they get to really shine brighter than any star that we've seen on Disney Channel over the last 25 years. Did you ever see the Jonas Brothers or Miley Cyrus granting wishes such as this? I mean, Miley Cyrus would grant a wish probably once every 6 months. But that to me really doesn't tell me a whole lot about Miley Cyrus or the Jonas Brothers and what they're all about, because we never saw that enough. But now we're seeing people like Kylie Cantrell granting wishes for girls who are 7 years old, like Waffle, going to their birthday party when they least expect it, presenting them with Descendants hoodies and T-shirts, which are fabulous. I think every opportunity we get to see, and I just saw Freya Sky actually performing at the Millennial Dance Complex. I think they did the performance of Don't Mess With Us and taught everybody how to dance, and everybody had an opportunity to have some fun with their favorite Descendants of Zombie stars once again at the Millennial Dance Complex. I think that the way Disney puts these events off, I think more of them should be happening. And that's why when I become the writer and producer of Disney, if I get 1 million subscribers and 1 million likes, which I know I'm a long way from having happened, I will make sure to go out of my way to make sure more of these events happen, because I think that the more smiles we can put on people's faces and the more hearts that we can touch, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with believing that there's an actual chance of hope and true love existing for everybody out there, and that happily ever after exists. Because that was the incentive of the Descendants of Zombie scripts, was that happily ever after actually had a chance of existing, even if it was the slightest. There's always a chance that happily ever after can be found in some form for everybody. And I really do believe that true love exists in whatever form you want to talk about for anybody out there, because there's always that special somebody for everybody out there. It's just about how much you believe in your favorite stars and how much you perceive them as heroes. And the more people that perceive Kylie Cantrell as their hero, I support that. And I support them playing these iconic princesses like Princess Red, or the chance of them playing Princess Ariel in a live-action Little Mermaid, or Rapunzel in the live-action Tangle, which Ruby Rose Turner has been very adamant about. And I'm incredibly supportive of Ruby playing that character. I'm really supportive of Ruby reprising a role, even if it's not as Bridget. You can always recreate a character, because there's something called character distribution, which is separated from character traits. Now, I may just be saying that because I have a greater appreciation for theater, and I've studied it for many years, but I think that if you can't find something for Bridget to do in present-day Wonderland, there's always the opportunity to have another character have something to do in present-day Wonderland that, Ruby Rose Turner's never had the chance to play. And I think that because she's had so much inspiration drawn from these iconic princesses that have obviously played a significant role in her life and the person she's turned out to be, I think that there's always going to be an opportunity for Ruby to tell a new story. There was always a new opportunity for Cammie Rather on Coop and Cammie Ask the World many years ago to tell a new story. It's just Disney never wanted to take a chance on that. So because Disney never wanted to take a chance on that, we never got to know Ruby as much as what we probably wanted to know her. But, I will tell you this. Watching Ruby grow up at 12 years old and learning so much as fast as what she did, it was like rapid fire. And it really touched a place in my heart because, if anything, Ruby forever and always inspired me to be a better person. I believe that I'm a better person and a much kinder person in this generation of Disney fans than I've ever been of any past generation that I've had the honor of providing commentary for, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. Descendants of Zombies has had a profound impact on millions of hearts. And it's not very hard to see why. It's because you believe in yourself more. It's because you're the best of friends with people that you never thought in a million years you'd be friends with. It's so amazing, this relationship between Victor and Nova, Malachi Burton and Freya Sky's characters, because I think this is what Zombies has been forever and always meant to amount to. And it's forever and always held a special place in our heart because of the chemistry being off the charts, how they understand each other, and how they're really the best of friends in real life. I mean, you see this all the time in the PR. Freya Sky never fails to have a smile on her face because of how Malachi is making her feel. And I think for a lot of people, seeing this relationship and this friendship played out as more of a friendship than ever a relationship, because I think a lot of rumors have obviously been sparked because of things happening between Kylie and Malia all the time, Freya and Malachi. But the thing is, I think a lot of people thought of themselves in a relationship with a guy they actually thought a chance of existing forever with actually could happen for them. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this relationship that we see all the time played out between Malachi Burton and Freya Sky, because the thing is, I think everybody deserves a chance at happiness. And I may just be saying this because I've always wanted to encourage that and promote this on this show, and that's why I created it. But I really do believe that happiness exists in whatever form you want to talk about for everybody out there. And I think more people need to be given more of a chance in showing that it has a chance of existing for whoever you want to talk about. Because I know everybody has their own situations and how they think about Descendants of Zombies and how they feel about it. I know there are critics forever and always about Descendants of Zombies. Every single day somebody is uploading a video with criticism about Descendants of Zombies. But I think it's just because of a lack of understanding and a lot of jealousy that has been built up for a long time, that they just want to get off their chest about how they feel about Descendants of Zombies. And I for one, have never wanted to do that. I've always wanted to be here to talk about Descendants of Zombies with a certain pride and a passion, because if you don't show up and talk about Descendants of Zombies with that certain pride and that passion, then it really defeats the purpose of ever talking about Descendants of Zombies. Because what I see when I look at Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner are people who just want to have fun and want to be a part of this moment and part of this history with each and every one of you while they create it. I mean, if they didn't want to be a part of history, would you see them at the Millennial Dance Complex or at the Worlds Collide Tour? I don't think you would. But they took the opportunity to perform in front of you because they wanted to. And because they wanted to perform in front of you, despite all the criticism they received, I think more of a benefit of a doubt and a chance should be taken on them. Because the more of a chance we take on them, the better reviews will be uploaded. And the more positive reviews we'll see, and we'll feel more confident about them. Because I think that people choosing to criticize Kylie Cantrell has everything to do with jealousy. It doesn't make you a better person because you choose to criticize a star like Kylie Cantrell who's inspiring millions of people. Because if you look at the numbers that Kylie Cantrell's been putting out there for Descendants, I mean, 781 million hours of stream time since the acquisition of the Rise of Red cast is truly phenomenal. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. 17.8 million, revenue in terms of viewership for High School Musical 2 back in 2007, I do believe. That was a record, an all-time record that was set by Disney, but I really believe that there's more of a chance to see more expansions off of franchises and more of a chance to be taken on the stories of Brandon and the stories of Chloe Charming, because the way I choose to look at it is these stories don't have to be over. And these stories can keep on being told over and over and over for so many years to come in so many different variations. I mean, when you look at it, how many times has the story of Snow White been told? How many times has the story of Beauty and the Beast been told? I'm actually just finishing up playing a video game on PlayStation 4 called The Wolf Among Us. And characters from Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella are characters inspired by the franchises that we grew up and loved for forever in this video game. And that's what's so cool about Descendants of Zombies, is the fact that there's so much happening in this franchise that we have yet to explore and be a part of. And that's what I'm so excited about for the foreseeable future, is to find out, if Happily Ever After is all Chloe and Red ever wanted to experience, if it's more than what they bargained for, what the consequences of time travel will be. And all I've ever wanted to do is touch your heart by how I felt about Descendants of Zombies, because there's nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, or at least from how I choose to look at it, because we can choose to criticize Descendants of Zombies for forever. But I think that if we take more of a chance on the story and all the characters that have yet to see their introduction into this franchise, which is a beautiful franchise, it's truly remarkable how many hearts Descendants of Zombies has never failed to touch, and how many beautiful friendships have happened because of Descendants of Zombies. I mean, every year on Halloween, which we're just under a week away from now, next Friday is Halloween, on October 31st, which, by the way, guys, if you want to, I will upload a lot of Halloween-themed videos on October 31st for you guys, where we'll talk all about Descendants of Zombies, probably mostly zombies, because that fits the Halloween theme on October 31st. So I'll be uploading videos all throughout October 31st, next Friday, for you guys. The thing is, Descendants and Zombies has really touched our hearts in so many ways for the seasons like Halloween and Christmas and New Year's. I mean, I always remember watching the Descendants or Zombies marathon on Halloween or New Year's Eve. It was so fun. You know, if there was one place in the world I'd rather be than out watching fireworks, it would be home watching the Descendants trilogy, the marathon they'd have every year on Disney Channel. And yeah, I do have Disney Channel, so I'll probably be watching that this New Year's too. I think that forever and always Descendants and Zombies has held a special place in our hearts for the obvious reasons that we become fans of Descendants and Zombies. And I think that's what's so intriguing about Descendants and Zombies is you never know what's happening next. I mean, there's been so much CGI, there have been so many special effects, there have been so many opportunities to tell a new story, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. You know, a lot of people just upload these reaction videos, of course, because they have never watched Descendants and Zombies before, and the first time they watch Descendants and Zombies is with a purpose. The sole purpose of recording a reaction video. And that's what's so oblivious to a lot of fans is because they think that, you know, these people recording these videos are the biggest fans in the world of Descendants and Zombies because they might have a Zed or Addison poster as part of their backdrop or a Descendants doll as part of their merchandise that they've collected over the years. You know, sitting in front of a microphone and talking about Descendants and Zombies is one way of looking at it, but sitting in front of a $500 microphone with a $500 camera to record your video doesn't tell me a whole lot about why you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I mean, who out there tells you why they're a fan of Descendants and Zombies? Because I think that if they told you why they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies, I think more people would buy what they were selling. But unfortunately, because you just know you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies, you buy into it every single time. And I think that it's much more worth your time to subscribe to a channel that actually appreciates Descendants and Zombies quite like this one. And that's why this YouTube channel has nearly over 5,000 subscribers and is the most popular Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel in the world because the host of the show appreciates each and every one of you and goes out of his way every day to upload 3 to 4 podcasts about Descendants and Zombies. Because I love talking about Descendants and Zombies. Why I love talking about Descendants and Zombies is because we've experienced a lot together. And we've been through a lot together. I know I moved into a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode at any given moment. And I'm living in fear of my own life. But that's what makes these videos so fun. Is because nobody else moved into a house near a soda plantation or a chemical plant, or at least I don't think so. I certainly hope not, because it's actually quite dangerous because you're fearing for your life every day of your house being TP'd or egged every year on Halloween. Living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant is not the fun that you think it is. But the thing is, I did it because I wanted to experience Descendants and Zombies the way it was meant to be experienced. And one just can't talk about Descendants and Zombies without experiencing it for its true worth and its true value. And that's what's so exciting about being a fan of Descendants and Zombies is you never know what's going to happen next. You never know what the story between Red and Chloe is going to present us the chance of seeing, because in the Alice in Wonderland books, of course, there is a book specifically written on the Jabberwockies, which is a creature that Alice encounters throughout our many journeys in Wonderland. So because there's a book specifically written for the Jabberwockies, which I'm sure a lot of you don't know about since the 1800s, that presents the chance for them to write a script or a movie for Descendants and Zombies based off the Jabberwockies and what kind of conflict and controversy they present for both Red and Chloe, which makes it really an exciting time to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Like, remember how in the Harry Potter franchise, eventually they wrote a movie about the Chamber of Secrets and that giant snake? Well, if there's a creature called a Jabberwocky, there's an opportunity right there to write a new script and a new story for a new chapter of Descendants and Zombies based off those creatures that Alice encounters in the 4 books of the series. And not to forget to mention about how 4 books in a series presents a tremendous opportunity for up to 4 to 5 movies or even more to be created. The point being, this story doesn't have to be over. And this story can keep going on for forever like the Energizer Bunny. It's all about how we believe in it. Remember that commercial of the Energizer Bunny back in the late 1990s? How he kept going and going and going, beating on his drum? Well, I think that for however long we have a special place in our heart reserved for Descendants and Zombies, I think there is more of a chance to discuss it, and discuss it in the way that it was meant to be discussed. Because I think that if Kylie Control won't watch herself on YouTube, that creates a problem. If Malia Baker won't TikTok herself because she doesn't want to see what people are uploading, and it breaks her heart, then that creates a problem. And I forever and always wanted to wipe away their tears to let them know that there is actually people out there on YouTube that care about them. Because I do realize there are over 600,000 people on YouTube who love Descendants and Zombies who are crazy about this thing. So because you're crazy about this thing, I think more people need to be uploading videos that actually, highlight that. for the people who have believed in Descendants of Zombies and believe in it just as much. Because you can just talk about Descendants of Zombies, but believing in it just as much as that 7-year-old girl who is watching this video, 7 to 17 years old, that creates an experience and a chance for them to actually believe in the franchises more than they ever have been. And that's one thing I hope you take away from every video that I ever upload on this YouTube channel, is that hope exists, true love can be found by you regardless of how long it takes you to find it, and the dreams do come true. No matter if they're based off how much time we have left, forever and always elapsing in an hourglass, because time never fails to run out. While time never fails to run out, the love and support that we have from our friends and our family that have come into our lives, sometimes without any reason or any explanation, there's always a point for everything. And once you reach that point and you reach that realization that this is happening and a dream is happening for me, and you sit back and you realize, that this really happened, I think that that's the most rewarding feeling in the world. Kind of like how this YouTube channel overnight became a huge success with thousands of people subscribing to it. I have each and every one of you to thank for that. And I honestly don't know where I'd be without you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for having made this YouTube channel the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel in the world. Coming up later on today, I will talk more about the book series Alice in Wonderland and how Disney Speedstorm now has a new season inspired by Alice in Wonderland characters such as Alice, the Queen of Hearts. And we'll talk more about the book series and how I think a Jabberwocky will have more to do with this story and present more of an opportunity for a new chapter in Descendants to be presented. So we'll talk about Disney Speedstorm and the Alice in Wonderland characters, the book series. We'll talk more about our predictions and our theories for Descendants of Zombies, which makes this a whole lot of fun to be excited about the foreseeable future, because summer 2026 is coming fast. It's like rapid fire, and I think that if you believe in Descendants of Zombies for however long you've been a fan of it, that's what counts and that's what matters. Guys, keep Descendants of Zombies forever and always close in your heart. I will be back later on this afternoon. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Of course, don't forget to hit my like button, my subscribe button, and ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications for everything happening on this YouTube channel, which means every single time I upload a video, you will be notified, and your notification bell will light up red with the latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs, which you have been watching this morning. And now I will go finish my cup of tea because I have to prepare myself for the inevitable, being TP'd and egged on Halloween. I've got to make my way to the dollar store. But I will be back later on today as I prepare to get them before they get me. And when it comes to zombies watching this video, guys, you can never be too prepared because everybody is zombieing out far more than they're ever given credit for. But thankfully for you guys, you have the latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs to prepare you for everything that could happen to you in this lifetime. Because we only have one life to live, and the best way to live it is unpredictable, by having fun, and by experiencing the moments that the Descendants of Zombies have created for us in our hearts forever and always together, which I look forward to doing with you guys for the foreseeable future. Guys, seriously, thank you so much. We will talk more about Descendants of Zombies in just a few hours from now, so don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the share buttons, and I'll talk to you again in a few hours from now, guys. Stay calm and zombie on, because life really is sweeter when all of us are. Thank you so much.